Hello, everyone. Just Frogget here for day 9 of the Advent Calendar Storybook for Disney. If you like these, please hit the thumbs up, please subscribe, and please share. What happened? Share. And this will be on my channel, so you can watch it every year if you want to. But let's see what day 9 brings. Here we go. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mother has reminded me that because it's a storybook, you can grab a child, hopefully your own, to listen to this wonderful little Disney book. Grab a drink, grab a snack, popcorn, whatever, and sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to me read the story. Hopefully, I don't mess up any of the names again of the characters. So let's see what day 9 brings. Okay, day 9's book. Jungle Book. Isn't that coincidence? Okay, let's see what Mowgli is up to. Jungle Book. Deep in the jungle, Bagheera the panther was out hunting. Suddenly, he heard a strange crying sound coming from the river. He followed the sound and discovered a basket with a tiny baby boy inside. "Why, it's a man cub," he said. "This little chap needs food and a mother's care. Perhaps Mother Wolf will look after him." Mother Wolf agreed to help. They named the man cub Mowgli. He grew up safe and happy in the jungle. But everything changed when Mowgli was 10 years old. Shere Khan, the man-eating tiger, heard about the man cub and came searching for him. The wolf agreed that Bagheera should take the boy back to the man village, where he would be safe. So the next morning, Bagheera and Mowgli set off on their long journey. Mowgli was angry and upset. He didn't want to leave his home in the jungle. When darkness fell, Bagheera and Mowgli climbed a tree and settled down to sleep on a branch. Nearby, hiding under some leaves, was Kaa, the python. As soon as Bagheera was asleep, Kaa slithered toward the man cub. His shining eyes seemed to have a magic power. Mowgli quickly began to sink into a deep trance. Slowly, Kaa started to wind himself around the boy, ready to swallow him up. Suddenly, Bagheera woke up and sprung at Kaa. He struck the snake with his paw and sent him slithering away into the jungle. Finally safe, the panther and man cub went to sleep. The next morning, Bagheera told Mowgli they had to continue their journey to the man village. But Mowgli refused to go. He grabbed hold of a tree trunk and held on tightly. Bagheera was very cross and ran off, leaving the man cub all alone. It wasn't long before Mowgli met a friendly bear called Baloo. He told Baloo how much he wanted to stay in the jungle. "No problem," Baloo said. "I'll look after you." Baloo enjoyed teaching his new friend all about the bare necessities of life. Soon, Mowgli could fight like a bear, growl like a bear, and even scratch like a bear. One day, as a pair were resting, some monkeys suddenly appeared and grabbed Mowgli and whisked him up into the air. Baloo woke with a jump, but it was too late. The monkeys were already carrying Mowgli off to the ruined temple where they lived. Luckily, Bagheera heard Mowgli's cries and rushed to the river to help. He found Baloo, who explained what had happened. We need a rescue plan, Bagheera said. At the ruined temple, Louis, king of the apes, was sitting on his throne waiting for the man cub to arrive. So you're here at last, Louis cried as Mowgli was dropped beside him. Louis offered to help Mowgli stay in the jungle. In return, he wanted to learn the secret of man's red fire. But before Mowgli could explain that he didn't know the secret, Louis declared that they would have a great feast in honor of their guest. Baloo and Bagheera reached the temple just in time to see Louis leap from his throne and start to sing and dance in celebration of the man cub's arrival. As Mowgli's feet began to tap to music, he forgot his troubles and joined in the fun. Baloo, whispered Bagheera, you distract the monkeys while I rescue Mowgli. Baloo had an idea. He dressed in some coconut shells and leaves to make himself look like a lady ape. Then he waved at Louis. The king thought the lady ape was very beautiful and rushed over to ask her to dance. He had no idea that it was really Baloo in disguise. Bagheera tried to grab Mowgli, but each time, right before he could, one of the monkeys would whirl the boy away from him. By the time Baloo and Bagheera were finally able to get Mowgli away from King Louis and the monkeys, the ancient ruins had crumbled entirely around the king and his monkey court. The man cub must go to the man village, said Bagheera. It's not safe for him to stay in the jungle. Baloo, remembering Shere Khan, had to admit that Bagheera was right. So the next morning, Baloo led Mowgli off toward the man village. When the man cub found out where he was headed, he was very angry. You don't want me to stay. You're just like Bagheera, he shouted. But before Baloo could explain, Mowgli ran off into the jungle. Mowgli arrived at a place in the jungle where there were very tall grass on the ground and no leaves on the trees. He was soon joined by 4 vultures. The vultures could see Mowgli was upset and sang a friendship song to cheer him up. It wasn't long before Shere Khan overheard the singing. Emerging from the shadows, the tiger gave a loud roar, taking the man cub by surprise. Mowgli refused to run from the tiger. Shere Khan counted to 10 and then leapt at Mowgli, roaring with all his claws out and his mouth wide open. Baloo arrived in the nick of time and pulled Shere Khan's tail so hard the tiger fell short of the man cub. Shere Khan roared with rage as he dragged Baloo behind him, but the brave bear was determined not to let go. Eventually, the furious tiger managed to flip Baloo over his head. The bear hit the ground with a crash. The vultures, Mowgli, and Baloo all fought against Shere Khan. The tiger ran off when a lightning storm caused a tree to burst into flames, and Mowgli tied a burning branch to his tail. Baloo lay injured and still on the ground. Finally, he opened his eyes and lifted his head. Overjoyed, Mowgli ran and sprang into his friend's arms. With Shere Khan defeated, Baloo, Bagheera, and Mowgli set off into the jungle once again, and at long last they reached the man village. Mowgli climbed a tree to get a good look at a girl he heard singing down by the watering hole. He couldn't take his eyes off of her, and Bagheera's great delight when the girl saw Mowgli and smiled shyly at him. The girl dropped her jug, and it rolled to where Mowgli stood. He picked up the jug and followed the girl to the man village. He turned around to give Baloo and Bagheera a big, goofy grin. Mowgli is where he belongs now, said Bagheera. I think you're right, said Baloo, and he and Bagheera danced happily back into the village. The end. So there was day 9 of our Storybook Disney Advent Calendar. I hope you really enjoyed this story, and I hope I didn't mess up the names too bad. And please come and join me again tomorrow night, same time, same place, for book number 10 to see what's going to happen and which book we're reading. Hello, everybody. Have a great night. Be safe. Love you all. Hugs and kisses. Have a good night. Bye.